Okay, so in this video, we're going to take a look at adding a field and making it read-only for customers in our customer portal, but obviously expose it so that our users can update it, our support team can update it. Pretty common request for configuring your CRM, so let's see how to do that. So there's a couple different steps here. Looking at cases, I think what we'll do is we'll add a field called initial feedback. If you click on a case here, you'll see that there's a description of what the customer would type in. And what we can do is add a field called initial feedback so the customer has an idea that we've seen it and we're working on it. So let's go to administration here. And as we discussed in other videos, I'm going to go to my entity manager. Today I'm in Espo CRM, but it may be called module or object if you're, for instance, in Salesforce. I'm going to go to cases here and go to fields. And then I'm going to add my field. It's called, I'm going to call it initial feedback. It's going to be a text field. So I'm going to choose the text format for my field. I'm going to name it initial feedback. It's going to copy that for what the users are going to see, but if I'm ever going to use it in coding or in a formula, then I'm going to use this name here. I'm not going to add any length limitations. The rest of it looks good, so let's go ahead and hit save. And then looking at the case form, I think I want to either put it right under the description or maybe I'll make it separate so it stands out to the user. So let's go ahead and go into Layout Manager for cases, go to the list view, and here it is, initial feedback. I'm going to add it here, and I almost always add every new field to the list view so I can see it and test with it right away. So let's save that there, and then we're going to go to the detail view, and I thought about adding it here, give it some more room, but I think what I'm actually going to do is put it in its own little area down here, give it a style of green so that the user and the customer can see it right away. I'm going to name it feedback for now. It's the only field in this section. We can update it later if we add more fields, but let's go with this for now. And then let's test it. And here's the field we just added in our list view. Let's go to our detail view. And here's our green in our separate section. And so we can edit and say, your warranty information will be emailed to you today. Maybe they had a question, maybe they lost their warranty information. And so that's just initial feedback of what's going to happen. However, your user can see this, your support team can see this, but the customer portal cannot yet. And so let's take a look at that. Go to the client portal. And I want to show you this. The reason why I'm showing you this is so that you can be aware of various areas you want to make sure you need to test whenever you make an update or your configuration for your CRM. So we'll go to cases here. Here's the same one, lost my warranty information. As you can see, there's no initial feedback field here. So we're going to go back to our administration, and we're going to add that field for our customer. So back in admin, back to our layout. We only need to add the field one time, but we do need to add it to multiple views. So here's our new panel. Bring the field down here, give it a little bit more room. I'm going to name it feedback and change the style so that nice green bar. That's going to be in the detail, and then on the list view, whenever the customer looks at the list of all their cases, they can also see it there too. So now let's test that. And so we'll log in as the client and confirm what they're seeing. So here's cases. Here's my list of cases. Here is it being added to their list view. And then here it's added to their detail view. But you'll notice as I hover, you can see this pencil, which means it's an editable field. And I can come in here and say, couldn't get it. Did you mail it? And that may not be the feedback that you actually want in this field because it's the feedback from you to the customer. So let's fix that so that this is a read-only field. So we're going to log out, log back in to our admin panel. And there's a couple different ways you can actually make that a read-only field, add different conditions to it. I'm going to show you the first one, which I don't recommend if you're doing a simple read-only field, which is what we're doing. But you can actually go to the field, initial feedback, in the case module, and you look down here, you'll see there's various dynamic logic options for visibility, for it being required, read-only, and invalid. And so when you go this route, as typical for CRM, you have a lot more flexibility. You have or and not statements, different users, different teams, and that type of thing. But we're doing something much simpler. We're just going to go to administration, and we're going to go to the security role for the client portal. Here's our client portal role. Remember, we have clients, 2 types, and then we have a volunteer portal. And our client portal for this particular client user, we're going to update their security here. Now you'll see that they have access to cases. They can only read their own, edit their own, and delete their own. And they can create as many as they want, support tickets, help desk tickets, however you might be using that. But we want to do field level security. So if you're having issues with trying to figure out why a particular configuration isn't working as far as visibility, this might be it. You might be able to look for a field level option. So we're coming down here to cases. We're going to find our field called initial feedback. Here are all the fields in the case module. We're going to select our field, and then it's going to allow us to say, yes, we want it to be read-only. No, we do not want the user to be able to edit. We're going to save that. And now we should have the security that we need. Now, I will note, you're probably noticing all these are enabled here. When I log in as the client, I only see 2 options, case and knowledge base. If you remember in a previous video, that is because our portal interface actually governs what they'll see, and what we decide to lock down to is cases and knowledge base. So let's go back to our client. Click on customer. We have cases here, our list view. We're going to go into our detail view, and now that pencil is gone. Click edit just to confirm, and they're no longer able to update that field. It's read only. So if you have any questions about this process, let me know. Reach out, either email, direct message, or drop a comment down below. We're happy to answer any questions that you might have on this configuration or anything else that you're thinking about. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.